TikTok is very in nowadays, and a lot of people are using TikTok because it has more organic reach. But to me, when you're starting, it's not really about the platform you choose. It's about how consistent and how people how consistent you churn out work and how consistent your work is, so that people will be able to see how you evolve through the years. I'm Nathaniel Ong. I'm a lettering artist, mainly focusing on chalkboards and signs. I'm based in Singapore, and I help brands and businesses attract customers to beautiful chalkboards and signs. I actually started lettering and calligraphy close to or a bit more than 6 years ago, but I started running my business 2 years ago. Yeah. I do chalkboards and signs, and I help customers build their brand and gain more audience through foot traffic by having beautiful signs on their storefronts. Some of my customers actually have menus inside inside the cafe as well. I mostly do hand letter designs. I mentioned earlier that I've been doing chalkboards and signs, so it's really hand drawn and hand painted. While there are also some demand for digital lettering. I also have some clients that are interested in having similar chalk designs, but printed instead. Yeah, so I do hand draw them as well digitally. In the digital age, everyone is just focused on the computers, but the hand drawn feel is being lost. But somehow, in the past 2, 3 years, it's coming back again, and I'm actually happy that that's happening because we get to see more human interaction again, more human touch in the things that we do, and there would always be demand for these kinds of things. People actually look forward to seeing handmade stuff when they go to bazaars. If you are into calligraphy or maybe watercolors, you can create cards, you can create notebooks, you can create other print art that you can sell through bazaars and through online as well. The very first thing that you need to do is to know what you want to do. Of course, a lot of us don't know what to do when we start. It was the same for me too. When I started doing what I do, I wasn't even sure where I'd end up in. And that's pretty normal. The important thing is that you're willing to try, you're willing to explore different mediums. So I started with calligraphy. I used dip pen with pointed nib calligraphy, and then I eventually evolved into a brush calligraphy, and then before I actually landed into lettering and now specifically doing chalk. It's a matter of being open to the opportunities and being open to the different available mediums out there. And because I mean, you don't have to focus at one thing as you start. Eventually, when you find your own voice and you find your own style, then that's the time you can actually niche down and focus on the thing that you're good at. If you continue sharing your work for about 2 years, I think that's the average amount of time that you will start to get noticed. People will really see who you are and how you can help them. Um, that's um, that's reality. That's the practical. That's what happened to me and what happened to the artists that I've been working with as well. But if you're already there, like you're starting to get noticed by different people and different possible clients, then that's good. What you can further do is to actually engage them actively, maybe on social media. You don't have to do hard sell. You can just approach them, say you like their brand, and then you want to help them, and then if they need anything from you, you're there, and then you can show them your work. When I started doing chalkboards, I actually went through a lot of different cafes and restaurants. I walked in one by one and approached the manager to ask, is there anything I can help them with? One would be Instagram. Instagram is a must. I would say Facebook, Pinterest. You can also do TikTok. TikTok is very in nowadays, and a lot of people are using TikTok because it has more organic reach. But to me, when you're starting, it's not really about the platform you choose. It's about how consistent and how people how consistent you churn out work and how consistent your work is, so that people will be able to see how you evolve through the years. I love to travel. That's probably one of the things that I would like to suggest is by traveling, you get to see a lot of different things, whether it's related to your work or not. It doesn't matter because it opens you up to different stimuli, and it allows your brain to process through the subconscious. So when I go travel, I just look at the signs out there and see and admire them. What works for me is acknowledging that it is there. I think by forcing yourself out of the rut, you're just gonna make it worse. At least that's what I feel. I feel like giving yourself time to process it. Maybe if you're religious or spiritual, you get to pray or do meditation. But if you're more on the creative side, you just explore other mediums. Let's say you're doing lettering. Maybe do watercolor this time. Maybe do stitching, knitting. It doesn't have to be related to what you do. I would say the most important thing is practice. You really have to put in the hours in order to become an expert at what you do. Now, I wouldn't claim that I'm an expert already because I still learn a lot of things day in and day out from different artists and different experienced people out there. But you have to put in the hours. They say it takes about 10,000 hours, was it, to become an expert, to be more comfortable in what you do. When you share your progress and when you share yourself, people will see the progress that you have. They will see how trustworthy you are because you're consistent. You're showing your dedication into your craft, and that's what matters a lot. Nowadays, there are a lot more experienced artists who are willing to share their work online and who are willing to teach. Like 5 years ago, it was almost non-existent. For example, if you want to do lettering, there are the usual famous artists that we know, like Ian Barnard or Stefan Kuntz, Lauren Holm. Those are the three names that we usually hear. But personally, I like listening to podcasts like The Honest Designers, the Perspective podcast, and I also listen to Sean West for business. You need to know how much time it takes you to complete a certain piece of work, and you need to base your pricing on that. If it takes you a couple of hours to finish the work, then you need to know how much time that 2 hours is worth to you. You need to have a rough estimate of your hourly rate. If you are doing this full time, then you will have your yearly expenses, monthly expenses. You have to take those into consideration. You have to take into consideration your experience, the time it took to create the finished product. You need to take note of the materials, your travel time, your consulting time. All of these will form a basis of your pricing. Thank you for having me on this interview here.